Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockMiner Brian Johnson, and last couple days things have been a little wild. Now today not so much, however, the beginning of the day was. So we had a hard run up into Wednesday, another hard run up last night, and into today. China news, hey, everything's good. We're going to lower our benchmark, and then the bald-headed guy spoke today, and the markets came right back down. So as a general rule, what we saw was either a push-up at the beginning of the day, or, depending on the indice, a gap up at the beginning of the day, followed by a run back down. They all end up with this little zigzag motion here by the time it's all said and done. So overall, on the 60-minute, we have this huge run up as the bulls. I'm really struggling to see this as anything but a bottom, and I'm really doing my best not to get all wrapped up in the, hey, we've had a few solid days of really hard buying. Seems like everybody's on board. I really try not to get all wrapped up in that. So even so, though, even ignoring it, if I just pretend like, yeah, this push was nice, but the bears are still in control, I really am struggling to see a retest of this area again at this point. I can't make the pattern work in my head unless it's going to be one of these huge consolidations like we saw up here, between 13, what was it, 13.3 and 13.6 or something to that effect, if I remember right. Anyway, huge consolidation. Look at this consolidation right in through here. Here's a good example. Maybe we do the same thing on a much grander scale. I think what I like better, actually, to be quite honest, is left shoulder, head, and right here, I think we're in line for a nice right shoulder. So I'm looking for pullbacks into this area. Don't really have any short opportunities for you unless, if you want to go short, have at it. That's great. By all means, it's your money. The point is, for me, I'm really going to hold off here. I'm going to wait and see what they give us. If I do take any kind of short position, it'll be in, it'll be out, I'll be done, call it good, and move on. What I'm really looking forward to is if we can get ourselves back into these areas here, and this is on all the indices, any kind of a little bit further pullback and start to work our way back up, man, I'm looking to get myself into some long positions. There's a lot of really, really nice long positions setting up in not only the indices, but in a lot of stocks as well. And so I'm really looking to kind of capitalize on those as they finally get hopefully some lift underneath of them. So back above this area, still your area to watch to the long side. Now keep in mind, I'm going to tell you this. If we pull back for a couple of days, love any shot back above here. If we shoot up above this tomorrow, take the trade, but I'm not sure it's long-lived. I really think it might be one of those blast above it and within a day or two we're right back below it type thing. So I don't know if it'll work on the first attempt if we blast through it tomorrow. If we take a couple days and consolidate and then get through it, I think that's a much stronger move for the bulls. Then I'm a lot more excited about moves back up in this area. Now, I'm using the Dow, but I'm telling you all the other indices are the same, so that's going to make this video real simple because they all look about the same way. So let's move on to the daily. Keep in mind, the Dow was the strongest of them all today. NASDAQ, NASDAQ and SPX basically ended up break even on the day. The NASDAQ was down actually quite a bit, about 0.5%, while the Dow was up about 0.5%. So there's a big margin between those two. Nothing to really glean from that per se. Just interesting that it's usually the NASDAQ that's kind of the stronger of the indices, but we did not see that in this case, obviously. Okay, so on to the daily here. You can see us holding the 20-day moving averages right here. We shot above it, but finished right back below it by the time the day was done. So Bernanke came out and didn't say anything that the markets really liked. He didn't say, oh yeah, QE3, you bet, we'll do that. No, he kind of shied away from that. Even when kind of pinned down about it, he was still like, well, nothing's really off the table. Yeah, one of the senators even mentioned, what I wish you'd say? I wish you'd say that QE3 isn't going to happen and just let the markets do what they're going to do. Let's get this over with. Let's move on. And then instead of pinning him down about it and saying, so what do you think? Don't you think that'd be the smarter way to go? just to see if he'd say something about it. He didn't. He said, I know you're not going to say anything. So he basically let it slide. He just moved on to the next question. But I liked his approach. I would love to finally get a real answer to that whole thing. Oh no, everything's still on the table. Well, duh, everything's always on the table with you, Bernanke. Can you make a decision? Ugh. One thing I did like about and respected about Greenspan was he could come forward and say, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to do QE3. I just don't see the point in it, really. We've already thrown billions of dollars at this thing, and there's other options. I mean, we have other options, and I think we'll explore those options before we'll explore QE3. At least he had the cojones to do that. Bernanke's like, well, nothing's off the table. How about selling your grandmother? Would you do that to curb the deficit? Well, yeah, nothing's off the table. I don't know. Nothing's off the table. Come on, man. Anyway, I hate it when people are like that. Make a call. Let's move on. All right. So anyway, there's my little soapbox for the day. There's things about Bernanke that drive me crazy. I know most people blog about what an idiot he is and blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's a very, very intelligent, smart person. But golly, so wishy-washy. Make a call and go with it. I mean, his wife must hate that. Where you want to go to eat? I don't know. Nothing's really off the table. I don't care. I don't know what. Make a call. Make a call and go with it. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Okay, so here we have holding the 20-day moving average here. As you can see, we're stuck below that today. Held very nicely. That doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean we're mega bearish tomorrow, mega bullish tomorrow. Fact is, we're very neutral still within here. As I said, loving this little inverse head and shoulders pattern that we're getting here. Would love, love, love to see a little bit more of a pullback here, even so within the markets themselves, and see if we can't get ourselves set up even nicer here with that potential inverse head and shoulders look. NASDAQ 60-minute look, it gapped up, zig and zag. So just a little zigzag back. If you're into Elliott waves, this looks like a very nice correction, but it still could go deeper. You just don't know. We have to wait till tomorrow, and this is why I'm just looking at this, making it real simple, guys. 24.40, 25.60, 25.70, and here you go. Inverse head and shoulders happening. We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Same levels. Look to get in above here if you want to. If it happens tomorrow, don't know if it'll hold. If it happens after a couple days, yeah, I think it might hold. So keep in mind next week is options expiration week. By the way, I don't know if you guys can hear what's going on in the background. Sometimes this microphone is really sensitive, but we're getting a really, really hard rain shower. And in my office, I love to open my windows, and I'm really protected in this corner that I'm at of the office, and so the rain doesn't come in the windows, but I just love the smell of it. Don't you guys love the smell of a fresh rain? Oh, I love it. And the pine trees, and anyway, I'm so distracted today. What is wrong with me? Okay, so anyway, here is the gap up and the move down today, taking us back below this 20-day moving average. So here's the better look from a daily, but it's the same point. Look at this. I mean, it's just setting up so cherry on the NASDAQ, and I got to tell you, I'm a big NASDAQ long fan. I always have been. If you follow my videos for any length of time, you know I love that. So, loving this NASDAQ, looking hard at anything back above this area. Notice how we did not break the 200 down here on this. We didn't even touch it. So, kind of curious, but shows you the strength of the NASDAQ over the rest of the indices here. Anyway, back above here, that's what we'll be looking for. It's what you need to be looking for. Don't you dare miss that entry. If it's tomorrow, like I said, might not hold. But boy, we consolidate, come back here a few days, and then roll our way around. Oh, baby, baby. That's the spot. I'm serious. Tattoo it to your forehead so you don't forget it. It's a good place. NASDAQ weekly, same type of thing. Chop, chop, chop. Look at this. Since we got down into this area, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks so far of sideways action right in and around that 2,500 level. Draw a line right here, and you find almost the perfect mean of all of these candles basically down in here. So we'll just watch and see if this thing can push itself back up. If it does, looking for definitely a test of this 20 on any kind of further bullishness to the upside. SPX 60, same thing, inverse head and shoulders, looking for it to pull back. I don't know, maybe tomorrow it runs up, maybe it doesn't, who knows, we'll have to wait till tomorrow and see, blah, 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 on and on. Point being, love this thing back above this area here. So looking all the indices, looking very inverse head and shoulders-ish, and something that we certainly don't want to miss if and when that happens. Still being, we held the 20-day today. Okay, so I paused the video for a second here, guys. What I wanted to do was get a close-up of this thing here. Notice how we held the 20-day today. We went up, we came back down. Now this candle could be misconstrued as a shooting star. I don't like it here. I really don't. So I don't have a bias one way or the other on this candle, and I would tell you not to either. Let's wait and see what we get tomorrow. I mean, if we can push down further, then great. But otherwise, as for one day, one candle, I don't think I'm real convinced of this quite yet. I'm certainly not in love with it by any means. So it is what it is. We'll leave it where it's at. Just don't put too much emphasis on this, because I know it's real easy to look at it and go, oh, look, shooting star. Oh, man, that's bearish. We're going to go down tomorrow. Well, we don't know yet. It's really a little too early to tell. Not my favorite spot. Not my favorite spot. So we'll wait and see if we get any confirmation on that tomorrow. VIX Daily. This thing's starting to look definitely more bearish. Slowly but surely, definitely more bearish. And you know how I feel about this. We've been back above the 20 area, so it does show a little bit more fear in the market. In the bigger picture, but my whole thing is back below 20 shows complacency. So this will be definitely something to watch coming into not only the end of this week. If it doesn't do it this week, look for it to maybe happen next week, where this VIX finally dips back below the 20 range. If I don't get it this week, I kind of think we're going to see the VIX back below 20 by the middle or end of next week. Here's the VIX weekly, also looking very, very weakly in this area. Okay, that's my best. Anyway, back above here, staying above 21, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, which was very, very strong. Haven't seen that since the beginning of the year. I've talked about that. Let's see where this closes, but it looks like, if providing we get a little bit of a pullback, I think this VIX is going to stay up here, and we'll keep it above the 20 for at least one more week. Then, like I said, next week, I don't know. It's anybody's call, but I would think that we're going to see that VIX come back into the 20 range very, very shortly, which usually means complacency in the markets, which means the markets go up. I'm just saying. So that's what we're looking at. Here's your gap up in FAS. Remember the 82 area I talked about on Tuesday? Yeah, that's kind of cool, huh? So we're still looking for pushes up and above here as these follow the indices. Inverse, head, and shoulder. Gee whiz. Now, ABC or zigzag back down, if you will. Don't know how deep this will go, but would love to see this thing back into the 74-ish area, maybe even 72-ish. That might scare a few of the bulls into thinking, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not going to go up. But any kind of a pullback here is fine. I don't recommend any shorts on this one right now. I really like FAS back above this area and only back above this area right now. So I'm not recommending a short position to you at this point. Here's the daily, same thing, gap up, run down, stay below not only the 20 but the 200-day as well, as the financials start to find their footing down here. Now today wasn't actually a good display of finding your footing necessarily, but the point is, I don't know, it could be just ready for a pullback. If it does, it's a huckleberry. That'll make for a great setup, potentially then back to the upside. So FAS on a daily, only looking long, which means on FAZ I'm only looking short. This whole technical analysis here, guys, look at this thing. We start here, we tap it, we get above it, we sit on it, we come back, we tap it, run away from it. This whole technical analysis thing, sometimes it's stupid crazy how well it works. When you get your lines and your support resistance in the right place, it's almost crazy how well this can work sometimes. So, love what I'm seeing here. Of course, then on the flip side, we're getting kind of the head and shoulders pattern to this. So once again, would love to see this back up into this area and then maybe roll over and come back down, give us a shot at it. I'm not interested till we get back below about 25, 50, 25. That's going to be your area on the FAZ to be watching to the short side. I have no recommendations long on FAZ right now. Loved this break right here, and look how it rewarded us. We broke out right back about the 22.50, 23 area, had subscribers in at 22, 20, 24 for sure, and just did very well on that trade. So all the way up into the 31 mark. We did not, after Tuesday's video, my talk was about the 31 mark. We did not get back above it, so I think we might have finished the top of this thing. This could be like, the start of a pullback, but once again, setting up a beautiful head and shoulders pattern. Loving it, loving it. Takes us back to the beginning of the video. There you go, guys. You know what I'm looking at? Everything looks the same way. So we're waiting to see what we get tomorrow. I do expect at least another pullback here in the after hours into at least late tonight, maybe early tomorrow morning. And then, I don't know, it's anybody's call. I really don't know if we're going to start gap down in the morning. If we do, I wouldn't be surprised if we gap down to start the day and ran back up again. I'm very neutral down here. Just wait for the breaks. I've given you the levels to watch. I'm being very conservative with you, but I'm telling you, it's well worth it. When we get the breaks, you're going to be very happy you played along. So, once again, you enjoy these videos, do the subscribers video. It's so cheap. 28 bucks a month, $1 a day. Come on, you spend that on coffee or 5-hour energy or whatever. You can spend it to help yourself in your trading, and it's an everyday video. It's not Tuesdays and Thursdays, or more like Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays as it goes, but it's an everyday video. Every day but Saturday you get a video from me, and I'm a lot more in depth. I talk about a lot more things. There are a ton of lines, ton more lines. Most of the people that start now, I don't make you stay in it for 3 months or 6 months or whatever. You can get in it for a month. If you don't like it, quit. That's fine. Matter of fact, get in it for a week, and if you hate it, go, yeah, I really didn't get much out of it, and I'll refund your money for the week, and there you go. You got it for free for a week, and you can have at it. I just feel so confident about it that when most people start the subscribers video, they almost inevitably stay with it. I've been doing this now for, I don't know, 3-4 years. I still have people from the first week that I started offering that newsletter that are still with me today after 3-4 years. They're still with me today. So there must be good content in it. Either that or they forgot they subscribed and I'm just charging their card every month. No, I'm just kidding. There must be decent content in it or else they wouldn't stay with it. For 4 years, 3 years? Come on. So give it a whirl, see what you think. It's really risk-free. Let me know after a week if you don't like it. I'll refund your money. I'm not out to rip anybody off. Otherwise, stop after a month. See what you think. Oh, that rain sounds good, doesn't it? The other thing is the mentoring. Guys, listen, if you wonder, golly, yeah, his lines are really spot on sometimes. Boy, a lot of times it runs right to that place and it stops. How's he do that? Where's he drawing them from? How does he draw those? Exactly where is he going from? What's he looking for? Okay, let me teach you that. Take the mentoring course. It's like a college education course. What you spend up front, you make on the back end, just like you would if you went to school for business or something and you got out and got into a business job. You're ahead of the other person because you have an education in it, and you pay back your school loans, if you will, that way. I don't think my mentoring's out of reach. I don't think it's all that expensive for a lot of people. But write me about it, and let's chat. Maybe it's a good fit for you. But it's really the ultimate way. You want to be able to. I ultimately love to teach people how to fish instead of just giving them a fish. If you can see what I'm seeing, I promise you this. When we're done with the mentoring course, and you watch these videos of mine, they'll never look the same to you again. I promise you. When you're done with that mentoring course, you'll look at it and go, oh, I get it. I see exactly what he's seeing. I know exactly what he's thinking. I know exactly what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. That's how that works. So these charts that are in front of you, when you're done with the mentoring course, they absolutely come alive. You will be, I know, you'll be amazed at the amount of information you can pull from one chart, just this chart in front of you, when you really know what you're looking at. And I just can't go into the detail that I can when we sit down together one-on-one over Skype, or basically I use WebEx or GoToMeeting, and we talk. And I can show you, okay, here's the theory behind it. Write it down. Keep it in a notebook. Go back. Refer back to this information. Now, let me show you how this theory works on a real chart. You get it? Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised at how open people get about this stuff. It's just really a strong course. So anyway, same deal there. Listen, try the mentoring. You can get into it 4 or 5 sessions if you're like, yeah, Johnson, you're an idiot. This thing isn't really helping me. I don't get it. You know what? Fine. I'll refund all your money. I really am not out to rip anybody off, and I wouldn't have been around as long as I have if I was doing that to people. You'd find me splattered all over the internet and bad things about me everywhere. I'm just not built that way. I don't care. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I got to at least offer it to you because I know what it's done for me in my life. And I know what it could potentially do for you in your life if you're just willing to give it a little bit of time, like every other job out there. Write me about it. We'll talk about it. See if we can't get you in. I'm starting June now, and I'm ready to load up with a few more students, so let's get her going. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.